начальнику РПК в норме.
Принял.
Every day we see the same pattern. Missiles fall, targets collapse, footage plays on repeat. And the public begins to ask, why do Russian strikes almost always appear successful? If Ukraine is supported by NATO, why is that defense so rarely visible? If a state lives through its people, why have millions left? And if this is a war of survival, why does the front line keep shifting? Is this a failure of technology, a failure of strategy, or a failure to understand modern war itself? Because this war is not about who is braver, it is about who controls tempo, not about who is more righteous, but about who forces reality to adapt. And amid all the claims of victory and defeat, the most important question is often avoided. Who is truly paying the price for this war? Iskander is not just a missile. It is a way of thinking, fast, precise, difficult to intercept. Russia does not fire Iskander for spectacle. It is used against targets that must not be given time: drone depots, preparation sites, temporary launch positions. These targets are fragile, non-permanent, unprotected by layered air defense. In modern war, time is everything, and Iskander removes time from the equation. No room to relocate, no room to hide. Here, one Russian advantage becomes visible, not emotion, not anger, but disciplined weapon choice matched to a specific task. There is no precision strike without vision. Reconnaissance drones, satellites, signals intelligence, field reports, all connected, all directed. Once activity is detected, decisions are not delayed. No extended debate, no political hesitation. This is system warfare, not improvisation. At this stage, Russia is not reacting. Russia is setting the tempo. And in modern war, whoever controls tempo forces the opponent to remain half a step behind. Then comes the most common question: where is Ukraine's air defense? Where are the Patriots? Where are the S-300s? Where are the advanced NATO systems? If missiles keep hitting their targets, does that mean the defense does not exist? Or that it does not work? The answer is uncomfortable. Air defense is not a sky-wide umbrella. It is not a dome that protects everything. Ukraine does have air defense systems. But the territory is vast, targets are dispersed, and protection is limited. Defense systems are prioritized for major cities, for power infrastructure, for government centers, not for open fields, not for small villages, not for temporary launch sites that move every day. And then there is Iskander, arriving too fast, descending too steeply, leaving almost no reaction time. Even NATO states have never promised perfect interception, so expecting Ukraine to perform miracles is not analysis. It is emotional hope. This is not about courage, it is about physics and the mathematics of war. Ukraine relies on drones not by choice, but by necessity. Drones are inexpensive, flexible, capable of reaching deep. But every launch leaves a trace. Every preparation opens a window. When drones become the primary weapon, launch sites become primary targets. Ukraine understands this risk, but its options are limited. This is not an ideal strategy. It is a survival strategy. And survival strategies always demand a price. One sentence haunts this war: a state without its people is not a state. Ukraine understands this, but reality does not always follow intention. Mass migration, psychological fatigue, an eroding economy. In areas controlled by Russia, some civilians adapt. Electricity functions, salaries are paid, schools operate. Does this mean loyalty? Not necessarily. Often it means exhaustion and a desire for normal life. Russia understands this dynamic, and its approach is cold. Normalization, not merely military control, not heroic, not emotional, but effective.
Достал?
А вот сюда, вот сюда.
NATO has not disappeared. NATO is calculating. Weapons are delivered. Training is provided. Political support is maintained. But red lines remain. No full protection. No direct involvement. The reason is clear. Escalation. NATO wants Ukraine to survive, but not at the cost of a global war. And that raises an uncomfortable question. How long can limited support sustain a state at war? And how high is the price paid by civilians for strategic restraint? Russia is not in a hurry, and that is intentional. No theatrical victories, no sweeping offensives. Instead, constant pressure. Territorial locking, the creation of new realities. Militarily, Russia has adapted. Geopolitically, Russia has accepted that the old world is gone. It does not seek sympathy. It demands recognition of facts. And so far, the world has been forced to take those facts into account. Behind every missile, behind every drone, behind every shifting map, there are people. And perhaps the most dangerous part of this war is not the weapons themselves, but our habit of viewing it from only one angle. This video was not made to tell you whom to support, not to promote hatred, not to glorify anyone. It was made to invite us to think together about how modern war truly functions, about how elite decisions are always paid for by ordinary people, and about how narratives often speak louder than human voices on the ground. If you believe discussions like this matter, if you value calm analysis over shouting and slogans, support this channel by subscribing, leaving a like, and sharing this video so conversations like this are not drowned out by noise. And one final clarification, this content is analysis, not propaganda, not an incitement to hate, and not aligned with any political actor. Its purpose is simple, to help us understand reality with a clear mind and a conscience that remains intact. Because in war, the easiest thing to lose is not territory. It is our ability to remain human.